Have you ever felt that frustration when something you love just isn't going well? Well, that's exactly the mood in Formula One right now. Leclerc, one of the most talented drivers, simply exploded with anger over Ferrari's performance. After another tough weekend, he didn't hold back his outrage and sent a clear message. This is unacceptable. But what exactly happened to cause this crisis to take hold of the Italian team? And what does it mean for Ferrari's future in F1? Stay with me until the end, and I'll show you everything you need to know about this tense moment at Ferrari. Charles Leclerc arrived at the Emilia-Romagna GP determined to fight for the top positions, but everything fell apart on Saturday. Struggling to get the best from the SF25, the Monegasque failed to reach Q3 and ended qualifying in 11th place. The frustration was evident from the start, with clear signs of irritation and few words during interviews. It felt like Ferrari had once again wasted an opportunity due to a lack of competitiveness on a fast lap. On Sunday, Leclerc showed the talent that made him a reference in Formula One. He made aggressive overtakes, gained important positions, and finished the race in fourth. But even the solid result was not enough to hide his discontent. In an interview with Sky Sports F1, he made it clear he raced with his heart, pushing the limits, but simply cannot accept the team's current situation anymore. His words sounded like a strong warning, perhaps even a public call out to the management. The criticism wasn't just about Imola's performance, but about a recurring pattern across several races in the championship. Ferrari cannot deliver consistency, especially in qualifying, and that compromises any real chance to fight for wins. Leclerc is doing his part, squeezing every drop from the car during races, but the feeling of always being at a disadvantage seems to be pushing him to the emotional limit. It's like he's racing against two enemies, the rivals on track and his own car. Leclerc's irritation also reveals a growing tension behind the scenes at Ferrari. When the team's leading driver starts openly expressing dissatisfaction so directly, something needs to change. And the way he handled the most intense moments of the race only reinforces this exploding tension. This brings us to the next point. Racing on the edge and the controversial duels that marked Leclerc's performance at Imola. Charles Leclerc's race was full of bold moves, tension, and risks. Knowing that starting 11th put him at a disadvantage, he adopted an aggressive approach from the first lap. One of the most controversial moments happened while battling Pierre Gasly. Leclerc pushed the Alpine driver off the track in a move considered too harsh, immediately drawing the attention of the stewards. Shortly after, another controversial incident. Leclerc forced Alexander Albon into the runoff area, again pushing the limits of legality. These maneuvers sparked immediate debate among commentators and fans. The race direction even opened an investigation, and Ferrari, fearing a penalty, ordered Leclerc to give back the position to Albon. He complied, avoiding formal sanctions, but didn't shy away from defending his stance after the race. According to Leclerc, in a race like that, you have to run with heart and elbows out. This was a clear justification that he feels compelled to push beyond limits to make up for what the car can't deliver. Leclerc's attitude shows a driver taking risks not because he wants to, but because he has to. He knows every position gain can be crucial in a championship, where Ferrari is no longer a front-runner. That's why his aggressive on-track behavior wasn't just style, but a direct reflection of the technical shortcomings. When the car can't compete, the driver must do more than expected, and that's exactly what he tried at Imola. These clashes on track, combined with his verbal frustration after the race, make it clear that Ferrari's problem isn't temporary, but structural. The SF25 car has obvious limitations that are compromising the entire season. And that's exactly what we'll dive into now. Why the SF25 has become such a big obstacle for the ambitions of the Italian team. The SF25 model, which debuted with big promises for 2025, has proven to be an increasing disappointment. The car especially struggles in qualifying, when performance over a single lap is far below expectations. At Imola, this was once again clear. Neither Ferrari driver made it to Q3, compromising the whole race strategy. Lack of grip in slow corners and instability under braking are just some symptoms of a project that seems to be failing at its core. The problem goes beyond minor setup issues. Leclerc has frequently complained about not trusting the car's behavior, especially when pushing the limits in critical laps. In a sport where hundredths of a second make all the difference, this unpredictability becomes a nightmare. Moreover, the car wears out its tires faster than ideal, forcing the team to rethink strategies that ultimately prove ineffective during races. What's most worrying is that Ferrari shows no clear signs of improvement. Updates brought so far haven't had the desired effect, and the team seems to be chasing losses without a clear direction. This directly affects driver confidence, especially Leclerc's, who has made it clear he's not willing to spend another year just finishing races without real chances of winning. This technical wear spills over psychologically. Ferrari, a team with a legendary legacy in Formula One, is stuck in a cycle of frustrations that drains internal motivation. And when looking at the points table, the crisis weighs even more heavily. McLaren has surged ahead, and the championship gap exposes just how deep the Holy Italian squad has fallen into is.
Well, we're past the halfway point of this video, but before we continue, I noticed you haven't left a like on this video yet. This is really important for YouTube to keep recommending my content to you, and this way I'll keep bringing you the best Formula One content. So go ahead and leave a like on this video. It's free, thanks. Now continuing.
Ferrari currently sits only in fourth place in the Constructors' Championship, a position that by itself would already be worrying. But what makes the situation worse is the huge points gap to the leader McLaren, 165 points behind, a number that practically eliminates any chance of a direct title fight. This fact, more than any criticism or strong interview, shows the real distance between what Ferrari is today and what it needs to be to get back to the top. McLaren, which came from modest seasons, made a performance leap in 2025. Meanwhile, Ferrari remains stuck with repetitive failures and unfulfilled promises. The contrast between the two teams was evident in Imola. While the orange cars were fighting for pole positions and consistently leading, Leclerc and Hamilton started outside the top 10. Practically, it's as if they were competing in different championships within the same race. This disparity puts even more pressure on the Maranello team management. It's not just about improving the car, but about restructuring the entire technical development system, decision-making, and communication between drivers and engineers. The current approach clearly doesn't work, and Leclerc's frustration is just a visible reflection of a much deeper crisis. Ferrari's performance today not only pushes away victories, but threatens the project's future as a whole. With Leclerc publicly pressuring and rivals growing every race, the team is racing against time to avoid an even bigger breakdown. And Leclerc himself is already showing signs of losing patience, as we will see in the next and final point. His direct demands and questions about the future. Leclerc's interview after the Emilia-Romagna GP was more than just an outburst. It was a clear sign that the driver is no longer willing to wait passively for a Ferrari response. By saying he can't accept the current situation, he left a direct demand hanging in the air aimed at the team bosses, especially Frederic Vasseur. He didn't name names, but the tone suggests that tensions behind the scenes are high and that the Monégasque patience is at its limit. Leclerc knows he is at a crucial moment in his career. He has spent too much time watching his title chances slip away due to team errors, and the repetition of the same mistakes is starting to affect his confidence in the project. He has always been loyal to Ferrari, but even loyalty has limits when there are no signs of improvement. His firm speech after the race seems calculated to generate impact both internally and externally. At the same time, Leclerc's words raise doubts about the future. If Ferrari doesn't deliver a competitive package by the start of next season, will he still be willing to stay? Rival teams are certainly watching the situation closely. And in a Formula One world where everything changes quickly, a prolonged crisis could open doors for an even bigger upheaval. Leclerc's public demand marks a turning point in his relationship with Ferrari. If the team does not react quickly, the internal atmosphere could deteriorate to the point of compromising even the 2025 planning. The race in Imola may have been just another result on paper, but behind the scenes, it triggered an alarm that Ferrari can no longer ignore. Ferrari's crisis is clear, and Leclerc's outburst makes it evident that the team urgently needs changes to fight at the top again. The underperformance is not just a technical problem, but also a challenge to the team's motivation and strategy. The question remains whether Ferrari will find the right path before the 2025 season slips away completely. Do you believe Leclerc will manage to pull the team back to recovery, or will Ferrari's crisis worsen? Share your opinion in the comments. The discussion is just beginning, and your viewpoint is essential to understanding the future of this F1 giant.
And if you, just like me, are passionate about everything happening in the world of Formula One and want to stay updated on the latest news, don't leave this video without sharing it with that friend who also follows F1 closely and will love this content. See those video suggestions on your screen? The first one I picked especially for you, with more news and analysis, and the other is a suggestion from YouTube itself. I'll see you there. Until the next video.